Is it safe to say agriculture is dead in Nigeria? Before you answer this question, think about this. We have millions of farmers, we have millions of hectares of land. We produce maize, we produce cassava, cashew, cocoa, tomatoes, and so many agricultural produce. Yet, the farmer is struggling to make money, the processor is struggling to get raw materials, even businesses are struggling with moving agricultural produce efficiently, and consumers are constantly, complaining of increasing prices. So what went wrong? Maybe agriculture isn't dead. Maybe agricultural growth is simply balanced. Whenever we talk about agricultural transformation, most times the conversation is always centered around farming. How do we increase the number of land? How do we increase the number of farmers? Or how do we increase production in general? Do we need more production? Yes, we need more production. But then again, agriculture is bigger than farming. Think about what happens after a farmer harvests. Who buys the produce? Where does it get stored? How does it transport it? Who finances the transaction? Where is the final market? Big picture now. How do we know what is being produced? Where is it being produced? And who needs what has been produced? Now, as much as we can solve the problem of production, if those other problems still exist, then we are going to have a new problem. Problems such as production has increased, but then again, there's nowhere to store it. Production has increased, but we don't have processes that are able to mop up what has been produced and then convert it into higher value commodities. Or production has increased, and then again, there is no transportation or efficient logistics system, which increases prices for consumers. Or production has increased, and there's no market, which leads to falling farm gate prices. So maybe the question shouldn't be how do we increase production? Probably a better question will be how do we ensure that the agricultural ecosystem works together or works efficiently together. Agriculture is a chain, and every link matters. Stay with me. Now, this is the entire agricultural value chain. We have the input supplier. They are engaged in the business of supply of seeds, fertilizers, supply of finance in some cases, right? And then the farmer is the major risk taker in the agricultural value chain. He plants the seeds, he nurses them, and then he produces harvest. Now, when he produces harvest, he does one of two things. In some cases, because agricultural commodities are a way of storing value, sometimes they store it by themselves. Sometimes they also, supply traders, and in some cases, if the farmer is big enough, he supplies the processor directly. Now, I have separated the aggregator from the trader, and this is because these guys have large capacity, while these ones most times have smaller capacity. What do I mean? In some cases, they buy 1 ton, 2 tons, 3 tons, depending. They buy directly from the farmers. While some traders, because probably their capacity is a truck or 2 trucks, sometimes they supply aggregators. Most times, aggregators do not go and engage directly with the farmers. We have the trader engaging with the farmers, supplying the aggregator. And in some cases, the traders supply processors directly, because processors, one way or the other, are also aggregators. Because you hardly see any processor that doesn't have an inventory, right, where he has stored some of his commodities so that's to ensure that his production does not stop at any point in time. Then we have these aggregators. The aggregators, one way or the other, they can function both for good and for bad. When they are functioning for good, they are providing storage services and also a way of accessing high quantity of any commodity. When they are when they are doing bad is when you call them orders, HOARDERS, in case I didn't pronounce that correctly. Then from these we have the logistics guys, and these guys are very, very essential. Without these guys, you can't move either seeds to the farmers or from the farmers to the traders, from the traders to the aggregators. So they function in bridging the gap between each of these members. Then we have the processors. Processors are responsible for adding value to whatever has been produced by the farmer. They convert maize to feed, or sometimes into things that human beings consume directly. They convert soya into soybean meal, which is used for feed production also, or you have soya oil. So the processors do a lot. They also give employment or create employment one way or the other. Then we have retailers. Retailers collect or sell what has been produced by the processors, and then the entire value chain. This is what makes these guys function perfectly are the consumers. And in Nigeria, we have the power of over 230 million people. Imagine if Nigeria produced for Nigerians. Now, the thing now is, imagine if this guy is gone. What happens to the entire value chain? Or imagine if we didn't have these guys, or we don't have these guys, or we don't have the retailers, or at some point, we don't have these guys. there's going to be a problem. For Nigeria to experience economic transformation, this whole value chain, these old guys have to function efficiently, there has to be synergy, and there has to be interconnectivity. At the end of the day, when everybody functions efficiently, there's economic transformation. So what does balanced agricultural growth look like? It means having a reliable system. It also means having technology and data. Imagine a system where we know what is being produced, where it is being produced, how much of it is available, knowing where it needs to go, and who is willing to buy it. Then agriculture starts becoming more than farming. It becomes an economic system. And when every part of that system goes together, everybody stands a chance to benefit. So is agriculture dead in Nigeria? I don't think so. I think agriculture is one of Nigeria's greatest economic opportunities, but we have to stop thinking as agriculture as just putting seeds in the ground. We need to think about the entire ecosystem, because the future of Nigerian agriculture will not be determined by how much we produce. It will be determined by how well we put everything together. That is balanced agricultural growth. My name is Moses Ojo. See you when I see you.